Getting a job in consulting is very competitive. Out of the thousands of people that apply to each consulting firm, less than 2% get an interview. Among those that get an interview, less than 20% will end up with a job offer. So when you get a consulting job interview, what can you do to differentiate yourself? How do you make yourself stand out from the crowd? In this video, I'll cover 3 things that the top 1% case interview candidates do in their consulting interviews. Strategy number 1, take a hypothesis-driven approach that is continually refined. Top candidates always have a hypothesis for what they think the answer to the case should be. They use this hypothesis to help them ask the right questions and do the right analyses. When top candidates come across data or information that supports their hypothesis, they make their hypothesis more narrow and focused. When top candidates come across data or information that goes against their hypothesis, they change their hypothesis to something else. Consider a case interview where you are trying to determine why profits have gone down for an airline company. You might initially ask whether the entire airline industry has been in decline or if just your company has been in decline. If you find out that the other airline companies have actually had an increase in profits, you would conclude that the issue driving profitability is an issue specific to your company. You could hypothesize that perhaps costs for the airline company have gone up. If you later figure out that costs have actually been flat over the years, you'd refine and change your hypothesis to say that a decline in revenue is likely causing a decline in profits. This could potentially be caused by a decline in the quantity of airline tickets sold. Digging more into this, you find out that the airplanes that your company uses are older and dirtier than the planes competitors use. From this, you would refine your hypothesis further, saying that the decline in profits is driven by a decline in ticket sales, as customers are increasingly going to competitors since they have newer, cleaner planes. Having a hypothesis-driven approach not only helps you form a solid recommendation, but helps you ask the right questions and do the right analyses. Strategy number 2, proactively answering the question, so what? Top case interview candidates are able to draw insights from their discussion and analyses and tie those to the overall business problem. Instead of just answering one question and then moving on to answering another question, top candidates take the time to state the implication of their answer on the potential case solution. Answering the simple question of so what helps drive this. For example, consider a scenario where you are trying to decide if a company should enter the peanut butter market in the US. You are asked to calculate the market size and have determined it to be roughly $3 billion. Instead of announcing the answer and waiting for the interviewer to respond, a top candidate would try to tie this answer back to the case objective. In other words, how does knowing the peanut butter market size, being $3 billion, help determine if the company should enter the peanut butter market? A top candidate would proactively answer the question, so what? They might determine if $3 billion is a large enough size compared to the market the company is currently in. They might try to estimate how much share the company can capture and see how much of an increase in revenue that would result in. They might want to compare the peanut butter market size to other potential adjacent markets to see if the peanut butter market is the largest among them. Answering the question, so what, not only helps you build a case for your recommendation, but it provides logical next steps that you can follow to proactively lead the case interview. Strategy number 3, show enthusiasm and personality. At the end of the day, if all candidates have excelled at the case interview, interviewers will pick candidates that they like and would want to have on their team. The top 1% case interview candidates have case interviews mastered to the point where it becomes second nature to them, like breathing. These top candidates can then focus their time and effort on demonstrating enthusiasm and showing off pieces of their personality throughout the case. Whether that is through throwing a few jokes here or there, or finding ways to connect or bond with the interviewer, these top candidates make a conscious effort to demonstrate that their personality would fit well with the culture of the company that they're interviewing with. They not only show a passion for solving case interviews, but show traits such as being collaborative, flexible, coachable, and likable. Focusing on enthusiasm and showing off your personality might take mental mindshare away from crushing the case interview, so only top candidates have the mental capacity to simultaneously demonstrate their cultural fit consciously during an interview. Get your case interview skills up before focusing too much of your mental mindshare on demonstrating your cultural fit with the firm. If you focus on these three things, taking a hypothesis-driven approach, answering the question, so what, and showing off your enthusiasm and personality, you are way more likely to separate yourself from the thousands of other candidates out there. Standing out from the crowd might be easier than you think. If you found this video helpful, and if you're ready to start preparing for case interviews seriously, check out our best-selling book on Amazon or our interactive comprehensive online course.